Hi viewers, welcome to Saturday Sport on ACTN TV. I am Solange Guzman, and today is a very special day for me in particular because I'm going to be interviewing a person that I know for a very long time. He's involved in the sport of badminton, but in addition of being a national athlete, he's also an entrepreneur and real estate broker. Those who have been in cash flow will already know who I'm talking about. So without any further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce you, Roger Moore.
All right, thank you for
Hi,
having
Roger.
me.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great.
You should tell them that you're a graduate of cash flow as well.
Yes, I did. I will advise you to come and participate in cash flow. It's a very nice program. So, last time I saw you was in the national championship.
Oh, the one I won.
Yes, the one you won. Yeah. So, you have been enrolled in badminton for many years.
Oh, I know. I sound really old.
So you want to tell us something about that? How did you start to play badminton?
Okay, I started at 5 years old actually.
At 5?
Yeah, long time.
Wow.
Because how old am I now? 37. So I started at 5 years old. My mom, she studied accountancy in the UK, and she brought home some badminton rackets, and I was too short for them, dragging on the ground and stuff. So my sister, she's 8 years older. She and my mom played in the streets. And I just fell in love with it, and I've been playing ever since. And when I turned 12, I was lucky enough to graduate to a school that had a badminton program, Presentation College, San Fernando.
Wow.
And they had an established badminton team. So I joined the team in Form 1 first semester and actually won my first tournament then. And that's where I met Avril and everybody, you know, from
Hi,
since
Avril.
then. And since then I've been playing and training. I took a couple years off after CXC and then started back at 18 at Trevor Smith in Port of Spain, and I've been there ever since. Now I'm on the national team, and I just won the national championships in men's doubles, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yes,
Yeah,
about that. Tell me about your experience in the TTV, Trinidad and Tobago Senior National 2018.
The tournament itself or
Yes.
overall?
No, about the tournament itself and your participation.
It's a well-run tournament. The only issue we had was the courts, because we didn't have access to the racket center in Tacarigua, so they had us at the Chinese Association, and the courts were not high level. So it was a little bit scary playing on slippery concrete courts. Yeah, being my age, you're kind of scared of injury. But it was still a good tournament, and you know the enthusiasm was high. And I partnered with Brandon Kilawan from Shuttle Force, because that's my new club, and we took home the gold medal.
Right. So, are you 100% satisfied with the result that you got in the nationals?
No, of course not. I want to win the singles. I want to win that singles. You know, if we had better courts and everything, probably I would have pushed more. But I was really scared about the slippery court situation. That I don't want to get injury at my age.
Well, I was there. I saw you play in the semi-final, and you was like really happy.
Yeah.
So how did you sleep that night, knowing that you are going to play the final the following day?
I did not sleep, but yeah, I was excited. I was not nervous at all. I was just excited, you know. So yeah, I couldn't wait. I entered the court. I was happy. I couldn't. Oh my God. That's when I'm at my best.
Do you have a routine? Do you follow a routine as an athlete?
Oh yeah, definitely. I train twice a day, most days. Wake up early in the morning. I do speed training, fitness training, strength training. I have a lot of equipment in my room. I'm at the gym as well in Grand Bazaar. The new gym that opened there is really good. 24 hours, right? And I also train with you and at my new club as well on Friday nights at Shuttle Force in Valencia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you have participated in a number of local and international competitions. Which have been some of the most happiest moments for you in badminton?
Internationally, competing in the Dominican Republic Open, playing doubles with Anelsi Paul. That was a lot of fun. We played against Brazil, and they looked scared. It was fun. I mean, we didn't win, but you know, needed more practice and more experience internationally. But you know, tournaments on the whole are a lot of fun. I'm glad that we have associations now that hold more than 2 tournaments a year. Because back in the days, they just had 2 tournaments a year, and they were around April and May, and then that's it for the rest of the year. You know, that sucks. But now it's more, there's more activity and everything, and it's more organized, and you know, so.
What about injuries? Have you ever been injured?
Throughout my entire 20s, I was injured.
Really?
Oh yeah, and I think one of the reasons was bad information. You know, they had us doing a lot of static stretching in those days, and that was actually not good for the muscles. You need dynamic stretching before you play, and we didn't know that at the time. So I had a lot of injuries. I had a dislocated shoulder. I had knee injuries. I had what they call golfer's elbow.
Yeah.
I had that throughout my 20s too. But funny enough, they all healed. I got onto a supplement called Laminine, a stem cell product, and that product apparently worked wonders. It's healed all my injuries. I was able to train at a high level, and I'm in my late 30s, which is weird.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of strange things happen, and you know, I think I want to blame Laminine for that because even my glasses. I used to wear glasses. I don't know if you remember. I used to wear glasses every day, even to read. Now I could read Rich Dad Poor Dad without any glasses. 20/20 vision, which is like a miracle.
Which are your goals for the rest of the year in badminton?
I'm aiming to enter Suriname International in November. So that's my priority right now. So I'm training for that. And then next year, Jamaica International. So those are my two next internationals coming up. My biggest issue in terms of playing internationals is I'm self-funded. so you know, sometimes because my team is small, sometimes I have a lot of responsibilities. So like for example, we have Carabaco later on in August. And you know, I have to miss it because you know, I have to be careful with my businesses and I have to make sure everything is in place, and so I had to let that tournament go. You know.
Yes. Talking about that, how hard or how easy it has been for you to be a national athlete and a businessman?
It's very challenging because it's two different lifestyles. But you know, that's where it's important to have a team. And you know, the only way I'm able to balance is because of my team. My mom, my girlfriend, and my whole team of volunteers, and all the every single business has their teams, and they're all very helpful. They understand the challenges I have, and they help in every way possible to help me succeed. So whatever success I have is because of them, and I owe everything to my team.
Well, I know that you are very well known in Trinidad. When you say Roger Moore is either the national badminton athlete or the cash flow guy.
Cash flow.
So, do you want to tell us a little bit more about cash flow? How did you start it?
Okay. When I started university, when I started business school, I realized all the rich kids were reading this book here, Rich Dad Poor Dad. So I decided to finally pick up the book and read the introduction because, you know, my landlord and all my friends, not friends, people in business were trying to get me to read a book, and I was ducking them right through because I didn't like to read, you know. Who likes to read? Well, when I read that introduction, I said, whoa, I needed to read the rest of that book. I bought my copy that same day. I read more of the Rich Dad books and realized that he had a game that taught the same thing. So I thought, hey, that'll be fun because I love games. I love badminton. Badminton games. So we invested in the game, and it blew us away because I was doing a business degree. And that game, because we started in December 2005, that game taught me more than a whole semester of business and financial knowledge in like no time, in like 3 hours. So, we went back to our lecturer because, I went to my finance lecturer, Sir Sylvester, and we told him about it and stuff. And he said, this game is teaching us at a very fast rate, and it's supposed to be a game. Yeah. And you know what he did? He discouraged us from holding these cash sessions. He said, it's a waste of time. You should just stick to your schoolwork, stick to exams, stick to your projects. So we gladly disobeyed. And we kept those sessions going because we realized it was teaching us things that we weren't really supposed to learn, So we outright say that what cash flow teaches in business, investing, and finance is not taught in today's education system. And I think I had the perfect vantage point being younger than the average cash flow club owner. I was in my early 20s. I knew how powerful games were, being an athlete and being a gamer, And, I got to compare my business degree to what I was learning at Cash Flow Club, and it was no comparison. So we still hold sessions all over the country. All the stakeholders in entrepreneurship training know of us. NEDCO know of us, and Career know of us. The Ministry of Small Business and Ministry of Small Business, they know of us. Everybody know of us. But what's funny is they don't really work with us as much as we would like them to. And it's because we are so different from everybody else. We don't just teach entrepreneurship, we also teach investing. Because finance is the language of business. And if you're not financially educated, you cannot make it in business. There's almost no chance of you to make it in business.
How many cash flow sessions have you had since you started?
Thousands. Thousands. The first 4 years, we ran free sessions every weekend. And when I say weekend, I mean Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, even Thursdays. First 4 years.
Wow.
We exposed it to a lot of people. My mom is an accountant, so she did not agree with what we are teaching people because we have a different definition of an asset. But when she experienced her first cash flow session in 2008, she retired and she joined the team because she realized we were onto something big. So we trained thousands of people, and then in 2009 we became an official cash flow club with the Rich Dad Company, and we were able to charge the sessions, and the insurance industry opened its doors to us in a major way, and up to now we're still very involved in the insurance industry because those are financial trainers, and financial trainers actually should be financially educated. And even though, again, we're beyond conventional, we're not, what we teach is not the ordinary. So, you know, a lot of people in the financial industry actually not very comfortable with a cash flow club and what we teach people. You know, because our rules are different, our education is so different. So it causes a lot of raised eyebrows, you know, because things like mutual funds, people who do cash flow would never invest in mutual funds. And we have very specific reasons why. And people who sell mutual funds, they don't like that, and well, companies especially.
What can you tell us about sports and finance? Do you think that for an athlete it's important to learn about finances?
100% so. Because we're in a smaller country, our sports industry is not as developed as, say, in the United States or in India or anywhere. So our national athletes actually have to think like entrepreneurs. This is an ongoing thing we're having with the Badminton Association and even in triathlon. The ones that make it are the ones that think like entrepreneurs. So even in the triathlon side, I was actually on the Triathlon Association. You know, Jason Gooding and his team, they hold multiple events. They hold more events than the Triathlon Association. And that's because they come from it from an entrepreneurial point of view. So in badminton, we need that as well. In football, we need that. That's why Jack Warner was so successful in football, because he's an entrepreneur. He's a businessman. You know, so over the years, we have been trying to get cash flow into the Ministry of Sports. They still have money for me in the Ministry of Sports. So, you know, one issue is a lot of state-owned enterprises, they don't pay on time, and sometimes they don't even pay. And an entrepreneur, that's a nightmare, you know. So entrepreneurs are problem solvers. We build business to solve problems. And, you know, a lot of institutions that need entrepreneurs' help, they're not getting it because they don't pay on time. That's an ongoing issue as well. So people like me, I don't do business with ministries simply because of that fact. You know, I tell them outright, you know, pay me up front, or pay them at least half or 3/4 up front, and they don't want to hear that. No, we'll pay on time, and then they never pay. Yeah, so yeah, that's a major disconnect that's happening, and it is causing some challenges in sports especially.
Yeah.
And we see multiple new sports ministers coming in over and over trying to solve the same problems by using the same strategy. Yeah. You know, they have no saying doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity.
Yes.
And I think if they adopt cash flow club, if we expose national athletes to cash flow training, I think we would drastically change sports. You know. Okay,
if I am, let's assume that you are going to meet the Minister of Sports tomorrow, right?
Who is the Minister of Sports? Shamil
Sanja.
What's her name?
What is her name?
Shamfa. Hi, Shamfa. How you doing, Shamfa? My name is Roger Moore. If you want to be an effective sports minister, where's the camera exactly? Right there. All right. So if you want to really change sports, I implore you, I beg you to invest in cash flow club. because we're an entrepreneurial movement now, you know, and it has never happened before in this country. So if you really want to change sports, try a different approach. None of your predecessors ever tried it. None of them, you know. I mean, we could talk about Arnold Roberts all day long as well. Because, you know, we know the story of Arnold Roberts.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I think he came the closest of trying or thinking, I don't know, but he failed.
But I think I read the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, and one of the things that he stated is like the education system does not teach finances, and he is a strong advocate, you know, to have this implemented in primary schools. Yes. So have you done anything like that here?
We're scared to train kids, and reason being, kids are very intelligent, right? So again, the school system was not designed to produce entrepreneurs. The school system was designed to produce employees, right? Now, because we use a simulation-based approach, people learn a lot faster and they remember what they do. They remember 90% and more. Without the need for exams, no homework, no exams, nothing. And they remember 90% and more. So it brings out your inner genius, right? And I'm a pioneer in education, so math science, same technique. Sales Training Academy, same technique. Now, the problem with training kids, and we do have books for kids, like Rich Kid, Smart Kid, and that kind of thing. The problem is they apply what they learn very quickly. So the last kid that did a couple of cash flow sessions back in 2009, he was 16 at the time. He got permission from his school to do a cake sale. And he kept that sale going. And by the time the school caught up to him, he was selling juice, cookies, stationery, making $2,000 a week. Right? So after he got suspended, we were like, yep, we're staying away from schools. Right?
Well, earlier on you mentioned math science,
yes.
Right? Do you want to tell us what do you do with that?
Okay, so math science is the science and engineering version of the Cash Flow Club. It's actually #1 in the world in science enrichment. It's based in Montreal, Canada. So it's a franchise that we brought to Trinidad. And it uses a simulation-based approach to teach science and engineering. So the same way our Cash Flow uses games to teach business, investing, finance, retirement planning, real estate, stock, trading, everything. Math science does that in science and engineering. So the kids actually learn real scientific, they learn how to use scientific equipment, they learn how to do chemistry, they learn how to make slime, they learn rocket science. We have a program with NASA on the way because we want to get people more aware of space programs and that kind of thing because we have big plans. So yeah, math science is at a lot of primary schools, and we actually have a lot of high schools as well. We partner with Shell oil company recently, and they have a STEM program out. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. So we work with them right now to get into high schools and that kind of thing, and it has become very successful. It's getting the word out, and they're showing us in Movie Town right now in the ads right before the movie starts. You know, so math science is getting very popular.
So yeah. I saw one of your videos on YouTube, I think, and I saw that you were having a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, math science is a lot of fun.
So, in which school you have been doing this math science project?
With schools?
Yeah.
Like Maple Leaf, we did some stuff with International School, Port of Spain, St. Andrews in Marival, Holy Family in Chaguanas, Trillium International in Chaguanas, St. Peter's in Pointe-à-Pierre, Trinidad, a whole couple of schools. We're at about 20 schools overall, primary schools and high schools.
Wow, that is great.
We did stuff with Cohen Hamilton and all over. St. Benedict's College.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you have been doing cash flow for over a decade now.
12 years, yeah, trained thousands of people.
So you have trained thousands of people, interacted with a huge number of children.
Oh, yeah.
So I am pretty sure that among them you found love in your life. Because behind every successful man, there is a very brilliant woman. And I am so fortunate to know that person. We are going to a short break, and I'm going to introduce you Roya Mo girlfriend, Gabby. We'll see you soon. Welcome back. Before we went into the break, I mentioned to you that behind every successful man, there is a brilliant woman. So now it is my pleasure to talk to Roya Mo girlfriend, Gabby.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Gabby.
Hello.
So, I must say that I was very happy to see you in the Senior Nationals badminton that recently concluded like 2-3 weeks ago.
It was my pleasure to be there, my very first nationals.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I could not avoid seeing you like so excited when Roger was winning and a little bit down when he was, losing and so on.
Yes.
But how it's been for you being in a relationship with a national athlete and a businessman? How challenging it is?
It's challenging in that it calls for me to extend more of myself and give more and work harder. But it's beautiful in that I have a partner that I work with all the time. So in everything he does, he wants me involved. So when he goes to his coaching sessions, most of the times I'm there. Up to training last night, he encouraged me to come on the floor and do the badminton training with him. I nearly died. Yeah, but that's what makes it better, because it's not as though I'm spending time away from him, but I'm involved in most, if not everything, that he does.
If you have to choose between Roger, the national athlete, and Roger, the business person, which one would you rather?
Huh. I really like Roger, the national athlete, because that makes me healthier. Seriously. I don't like to exercise. And when Roger gets up 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning and he's exercising and pumping the iron, I'm like, I can't sleep. And he'd be like, jump up, Gabby, come do some workout. And I'm like, okay.
So, do you play badminton? Have you played badminton before?
Actually, I was introduced to badminton for the first time when I attended UTT. One of my professors, Mr. Sanchez, had a little badminton club, and it was frustrating for me. I couldn't hit the shuttle at all. Then in 2015, I went to Manzanola Secondary to teach, and they had a badminton club. And one teacher, especially Mr. Sheldon Allen, he used to take his time and say, okay, Gabby, this is how you hit a shuttle. Okay, try again. And he was really patient with me until I finally got shuttles over the net. But in terms of the kind of play you may have seen me play when I came to your program, I think it was Carnival Monday. I didn't get to that level until being exposed to Roger a lot.
Well, does he train you?
He is my personal trainer. If you ask to see his phone, you would see Gabriel and Nero, and he's always changing up my training schedule. So he is my official trainer, yes.
Right. And then you are his official coach at badminton tournaments.
Right. So up to this morning when he was training, I found he wasn't twisting as much as he should. And I'm like, baby, am I allowed to train you? He said, you're my coach. I'm like, good, twist.
The reason why I ask you this is because most of you probably didn't go to the national, to the badminton national, but I was there. If you want to become a national coach, or not a national coach, sorry, if you want to become a badminton coach in less than 5 hours, just fall in love with a badminton athlete. That is the experience that I got there at national. She was very excited, and then she was asking, person who has been around badminton for a while, like me and others, what he should do, why is he doing that? And then she was going to the court to coach him. That was amazing.
Yeah, by the last night, I think it was, the second to last night for the semifinals, I was on the court advising them as to how they should hit. But it was thanks to people like you that I was running to every minute and saying, why is this going so? What should he do differently? What's your take on this match? And by asking that over and over, I was able to give some good advice. And I continue to ask people even on the final day.
What do you think about his performance?
Well, when I met him, he told me that he was going to win singles, and he was going to be the top national athlete for singles. And if he gets a good partner, he wants to do the same thing for doubles and mixed doubles. When we went to that tournament, he said, Gabby, if I leave here with anything, it's going to be singles. And when I saw him lose his chance at winning singles, I was worried. And he said, nah, but I still have a chance in doubles and mixed doubles. And I saw him push himself. Now I still think he has a lot more to offer. So he can give us that singles eventually. But I see him improving all the time with every coming tournament, every coming session, yeah.
As his coach now.
Unofficial coach.
Yes. Which are some of the things that he should not do as a player?
find that he needs to get a little calmer. So when he's excited about something happening in the match, he gets a little overexcited. I find that I remember talking to him on the last day of the tournaments because he was really stressed about the slippery floor and everything. And I told him, babe, the challenges you have here, every single badminton athlete has it. Take a moment, appreciate the challenges, and strategize. How am I going to play the best match I can play with the challenges that I have in front of me? I told him it's not just about identifying the problems, but identifying it, yes, and seeing how you can overcome it, and that's more important than anything else. And I think that's what had me running to the court for the second to last and the last day.
Well,
yeah.
He's very fortunate because that is a sound advice. Now, I know you rather Roger as an athlete, but what do you admire about him as a business person?
Oh, his persistence. He has the same sort of persistence when it comes to business, or I think he's even more persistent in that regard. And when he makes up his mind that he's going to achieve something with regards to his business, nobody and nothing can tell him no. Sometimes he sets a goal and I'll say, Roger, I don't think that's possible from the position from which I sit. And he'll say, Gabby, it's possible. And at that point I'll say, well, you've experienced the world through different eyes from me, so I will trust. And you see him do it. He does it. It's amazing. He does it.
Wow. So, if you are to advise him from the business point of view, what would you tell him?
I will tell him, keep up with the persistence, continue forming teams. And I mean, up to this morning, we were listening to a video on successful real estate companies and persons who've made millions of dollars in real estate and what they had behind them. And they all had specialists. They specialized each task and they made sure that they had this big support network. And I see him with a support network now. He has John Ruman, Yuri Dixon, he has Megan Wang Sang, Tammy Kato, all these people who come around in for the different businesses, Christina and Vikash. But delegate some more, have faith that they can do just as good a job that he can do, and let the team grow. And as the team grows, he will grow.
So where do you see him in the next 5 years?
Well, in terms of what I want for him, I want that he has all of these business running so that if he has to go to Carabaco, the team behind him can push business forward so he can go. So these will be successful and he'll have nothing keeping him back as an athlete. Yeah, that's where I see him in the next 5 years.
Wow. Roger is a very fortunate guy. I have interviewed a number of persons, even when I was in Cuba, and what I admire about Gavi is that she did not mention wanting to marry Roger. That is unique, because every woman, wants to marry. And what she wants to see him succeeding at his business. So, wow.
Yeah, no, I won't lie, I want to get married, but I always have the perspective where what I want, I'm never going to force onto another person. So Roger will realize he wants to marry me soon, hopefully in the next 5 years, but it's not my place to force it onto him.
Well, thank you so much. You are really, really, really a great woman. It has been my pleasure to interview you, and I hope we get invited to the wedding. Right? Thank you, Gabi.
Thank you, Solange.
Well, viewers, it has been a pleasure to be in your company. I will see you soon. I was your host, Solange Guzman.